Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining today's Tuesday tips and tools that you can use. I have a special guest here today, Lonelle Madsen, owner of NeuroBloom Academy. Welcome, Lonelle.
Thank you. Thanks, Tracy, for having me.
Thanks for being here. And I want to explain how I met Lonelle and what she's going to be bringing to us here today. Lonelle is a member of the community Visions to Profits women's membership community, and within that membership, we call them visionaires, are welcome to do a live within this group to share their expertise. So that is what we are going to do today. And Lonelle is going to talk about how to trust a health professional online. And I'm also sharing this on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Please remember to click the subscribe button, and thank you. Lonelle, thanks for joining from California.
You're welcome.
So tell me a little bit about, we were talking before I hit record, you are a sports and medical massage therapist and corrective exercise specialist. Can you share a little background, your backstory, how you got started with your business?
Sure. So I got into fitness in particular at a very young age. My mom would take me to her jazzercise classes when I was probably about 7 years old. And I became a teen mom at a very young age too. And fitness is what really supported me through that. So I became a personal trainer right out of high school. And I had several injuries along the way and several issues that would crop up. But eventually, I just switched careers I went to massage school first because I ended up just needing to make ends meet and provide for my children. And I had a desk job, an entry-level desk job for years. But I ended up having pain in my shoulder at that job, and I was able to correct it myself when my doctors couldn't. And so that was like, okay, I'm ready for a career change. I want to get back into the fitness scene, and I learned how to fix myself. So I went to massage school, and that was 11 years ago.
Wow.
Almost to the exact month. In February, it'll be 11 months ago or 11
Oh,
years ago.
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a really wonderful journey, and I've been able to fix myself a couple times along the way, and then of course now I have clients that I've been able to help as well.
When you first started massage, where were you practicing? Were you practicing like under somebody at a chiropractor's office on your own? What?
Yeah, so I actually interned at a chiropractic office right out of massage school, and it was just a true gift from God. From God. Yes, have you heard of God? No, from God, because I was scared to kind of pick where to go, and where I ended up, the school arranged for me to intern is where I ended up working for the next 5 years. I worked with two chiropractors and a personal trainer, and then maybe four other massage therapists. And it was a great fit, and it was sports medicine.
Sports medicine. Wow. And then how long did you do that? And when did you know that you wanted to branch off on your own?
That's an interesting question. So I I had great success right away, and it quickly led to plenty of burnout. I ended up with a 3-month wait list and a
Wow.
500 plus clientele.
Oh
They,
my gosh.
yeah, I mean, some of those people were just one time. Not everyone comes back, but
Right. But
Yeah, it was wonderful, but for massage, full time's considered, 10 to 15 hours a week, sometimes 20, but I was regularly doing 22 hours a week. And a lot of these appointments were 90-minute sessions, and almost all of it was very intense work. So while it was wonderful because I didn't do any traditional advertising, I was also, ripe for burnout and setting myself up for injury. So at the time that I was experiencing that burnout, the same time I met my now husband, and we started to date, but then I just had to stop completely. So I'm and things panned out so that I had to move out of my house at the same time. So that was 2016. Everything that could possibly happen to you happened to me that year, except for pregnancy. But I got married, and I stopped practicing and took a good break. And after I got settled into, marriage and being a stepmom now, I
And
realized
how many kids are you a stepmom to?
I have 4 stepsons in addition to my 2 children. So
So quite the
a lot of kids.
household. Yes.
Did
So
I finish
then,
my story?
yeah. So then what did you do once you settled in? Then how did you get back going and create your business?
Well, my husband was definitely very supportive of what I was doing, and what I was doing was very part-time out call massage. So I was going to a few clients' homes and massaging in their homes. And I just knew that I knew early on in my practice too that massage, while it was really, really powerful, and I had a wonderful results with my clients, I knew it was only one piece of the puzzle. And so finally trying to formulate, well, how am I going to re-engage in my practice, and with more knowledge, know that I needed to deliver even more to help my clients so that they weren't coming back for the same issues. That's when I started to realize I needed to change my business model. I couldn't sustain that kind of intense work, and the pay, I definitely reached a ceiling on that. So that's when it really occurred to me. So
And then what was your next step that you took from there?
I did hire a coach, and it was very much a group setting type of coaching situation. And I'll be candid, I this was a huge adjustment. I was living in my mother-in-law's home at the time, and I was used to being a single mom for 25 years to 2 kids, that I ended up getting diagnosed with general anxiety disorder. And so I had to totally stop the coaching and stop practicing. I didn't know how to manage everything all at once in this whole new life. So I kind of stopped and went back just to very part-time massaging. And now this last year, we've moved out into our own place. I'm definitely used to being a stepmom now. And I finally have figured out my business model and how I can deliver, helping my clients and getting them out of pain permanently.
And so did you go for schooling?
I did. I mean, I went to, massage school,
Massage,
and
right?
I'm a certified personal trainer as well.
Okay.
Uh, I consider myself a continuing education junkie. I have something always in the wings that I'm trying to study. So there's a laundry list of certifications that I just don't attach to my name because it looks silly. So, but yeah, I love learning, and I want to deliver the best. So, and people deserve the best.
Mhm.
And the only thing I haven't done yet is actually go pursue a doctorate. I did start briefly, and then the lockdown happened, and we moved at the same time. So that's backburnered, but I have that goal too, to finally get a doctorate.
Wow. Wow. Just so people know, I'm looking to the left or to the right, or whatever you're seeing. I'm keeping an eye on the Facebook messages. So that's where my head's looking from time to time. So Linnell, when I asked you if you would like to do an interview and talk about your business and share some tips and tools with this group and on the YouTube channel, how did you come up with the topic, how to trust a health professional online? And it
Well, I
came to you
think,
pretty quick too. You were like on it.
yeah, I think it was inspired because, I mean, when you go to a health professional, it's deeply intimate. We're talking about your health care and your well-being and your quality of life and how you can actually show up in life. So it's so much more than just, I need to check this off my list if I found a doctor for this or a nutritionist for this. I realize it's, my work is super intimate, and you don't want to just let anyone into that very personal space. It should be a very um, vetted out, mindful, I think, way of going about trying to help yourself in self-care.
And so the online space, of course, right now with everything going on with the pandemic has exploded. And what have been the objections that you're hearing when people interview you to hire you, right? To do virtual training and teaching.
Yeah, I mean, they're rightly suspicious and guarded. I think, whether they're conscious of it or not, they know they need to be cautious. So, straight up objections. I mean, I think it's more just they don't know what kind of questions to ask, and they don't know how to approach due diligence. And we're all kind of just thrown into, now our world is mostly online, and I know plenty of the doctors' patients I've worked with, aren't seeing their doctors or their healthcare professionals as much as they used to. And so um, you need to approach, finding a healthcare professional online similarly to how you do it in person, but with some, a little bit more homework. A lot of it ends up being word of mouth, and
Mhm.
that I know is very powerful and usually very successful. So I think it's just knowing what questions to ask, and then knowing what risks are involved and taking responsibility, and knowing you can fire whoever you end up hiring. So
Exactly, exactly. For anybody who's listening live or the replay in the women's success community, feel free to ask any questions pertaining hiring a personal trainer or a healthcare professional. Go ahead and feel free to ask any questions. Linnell will be happy to answer what she can. What would be some questions that people might want to ask when they're looking to hire somebody, a personal trainer?
yeah, so I did write down some that I thought were really important. So, you know, the first one is, what do they do? And that boils down to, what problem do they solve? It's always good to, look at their reviews and their testimonials. Even their personal Facebook page can give you an idea. But you really want to know how specific and sophisticated is the problem that they're solving. I think when that's clearly defined, then it's easy to just know if they're the right person or not. And
Mm-hmm.
that's first place to start, I believe.
Good. That's a good question. Yeah, that's really good. And then would you recommend doing an interview like on Zoom so that you can really see them, or what's your,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like I said, when you're investigating them and looking at, their virtual presence, seeing what testimonials they have available, looking at their education, what their certifications are in, what their degrees might be in. or just what their experience is. And then, sorry, repeat your question.
I was just saying, do you think it's better to meet like via Zoom where you can see them, or do you think
Yeah.
on the phone is, what's,
Um,
what's your experience when people are coming to you?
so any kind of, um, anything that you can kind of duplicate where you would see them in person is always good. So yes, a video is great. If they're not willing to do that, if that's what you decide is necessary for your process, then perhaps you need to make that call that that's not the right match for you. So a big part of it is listening to your senses and your intuition. I mean, ultimately, like there's a list of, what's their credentials, what are their testimonials like, what exactly do they do, what problem do they solve, but ultimately we go by what we feel when it boils down to it. So getting a stronger sense of what your intuition's telling you, if you are aligned, that can usually happen better when you get to hear their voice and you get to hear them speak and how they interact with you in particular, or even watching some of whatever videos they might have, just so you can get a sense of their bedside manner.
Right, right.
I've known many good technicians, and what they do, but their bedside manner sucks.
Right, right. Yes.
So
Good. That's good.
critical.
Right. And then if somebody were to hire you, would you create a program for them, or how would that work? Like most of your clients, do they come to you for a pain that they're having first and foremost?
Yeah,
Okay.
usually, they are busy with their lives, their families, their responsibilities, and whatever fitness or athletic goals they have. And, we get really good at ignoring these small little nagging pains that are just in the background. But
Mhm.
at some point, they're just like, I can't do what I normally can do. I can't reach into, I'm a good example of this. I can't reach into the refrigerator without, something hurting. That's what led me to go to massage school.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So just,
Huh.
people say I was doing nothing literally, and all of a sudden my back went out. And so it's either something that's just kind of in the background that's nagging them enough, or they, it's interfering with their sleep long enough and they just get fed up, or it's something that they're like, it's more acute and like I was doing nothing and my back went out. So they'll come to me under those circumstances. And so it's important that you address what they specifically came to you for, but then it's my job as an investigator to go, okay, well, there's a lot more going into creating the situation where you're going to have pain again. So it's always a combination of like, okay, well, let's get rid of your primary complaint, but then let's set you up so that this doesn't happen again.
Right. And are you finding it hard or easy to do virtual training?
Well, this is new territory for
Uh-huh.
me. And so, it is a little challenging because, like I said, that bedside manner is usually the most powerful influence on whether you enjoyed this, healthcare professional or not, and whether you feel like you can trust them. And
Mm-hmm.
so it is tricky for sure, because there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of other competing voices out there. And, that's the free market. So that's really good. But it can be really challenging if you're
Right.
trying to get a problem solved and you don't know who to listen to. It can be frustrating. So
Right.
for me, it's, how do I find those people that are looking for me, and
Mhm.
um, how do I convey that bedside manner? So it is
More,
challenging.
more videos.
Yeah, exhibit
Right,
A.
right, right. And then, sharing the pain points. what would be, if you could share, what would be pain somebody might come to you for, and how would you, I guess, how would you treat them? Like, let's say, I'll just give you an example. Let's say I came to you for an old nagging shoulder, or shoulder, in my shoulder bone back there issue.
So the first thing is knowing how I try and teach people how to discern if their pain is a healthcare issue or a self-care issue.
Nice.
Because oftentimes, we don't know, and this is where I feel like what us healthcare professionals do know should actually belong to the layperson to a fair degree.
Mm-hmm.
That's my personal philosophy. Especially now, if like you're stuck in home and you say your child has shoulder pain. Well, you know, what's more self-reliant, that I have to go now outside of my family to get help? Now, barring, you don't need surgery, you definitely want to go to the right specialist. But I feel like this is something that can be learned by just the average, person trying to take care of themselves or their family. So first of all is just, discerning if it's a healthcare issue or a self-care issue, and then what to do, depending on which one it is. And so if they do need further healthcare outside of my scope, I have, doctors and networks in place to get them the right care. So I'm very much like a concierge on that
Nice.
front, so helping them find the right doctor and know what to look for.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really important. And maybe they don't need my care. Ultimately, they probably need to know how to do the self-care anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't need to be, directed to someone else, I help them learn what exactly to do, what tools to use to determine what movement patterns they have are risky and which ones might be setting them up for pain or, possible risk of injury. So figuring that out, and it sounds complicated, but I'm created in a way that's just super digestible, easy to digest and understand, and something you can just keep going back to. And then, there's a hierarchy of needs for every person. And so that tool can help you figure out where you're lacking on what need, and you just build on that and matching the correctives to the problem. So
Nice. And I would think it would be kind of cool to be able to see their environment, right? Like, show me your
yeah,
workstation, show me your setup, show me your house. Like, what do you do, right? Like, so the virtual could
yes.
really be a benefit. How can you help them set up their house so that when they're sitting watching hours of Netflix, oh, move over there and stretch while you're doing that, or right? Like,
Yeah, a lot of the intake is like, what's not just your history, but what is your work environment? What is the environment that's helping create your mindset too? Because we have I call it a threat bucket in our brain, where, if that fills up too high, then we experience pain. So, pain lives in the brain. So yeah, it's about, what's your environment like that's helping to create what mindset you have that can play into your pain. But then it's also, yes, ergonomics, your workstation, what are your daily habits? What are your activities? And, what postures do you keep and maintain throughout the day? And, with all of us on screens right now, I think we all know the eye strain issues, the neck issues.
right. As I'm looking up at my camera, I'm like, gosh, is my camera too high? I might have to sit on a pillow.
You might.
Right, I might.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How can people find you, Lonelle, and work with you?
So they're welcome to email me or DM me on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn as well.
Okay.
I have a toll-free number too. I think that makes sense. Even though I don't see too many people doing that on the online space. But that's 888-707-7264.
888. Go ahead.
707
Okay.
7264.
Okay. All right.
And they can reach me by email, or I guess I should say my email. It's Lonelle.Madsen at NeuroBloom Academy. Yeah, maybe I'll type it in the comments.
Yeah. You can type all that in there. Yeah, I'll let you do it after.
Okay.
So that I'm not sitting here doing that. And put your Facebook page.
Yeah, you can reach me on my personal Facebook page or Messenger, and you're welcome to join my community. It's Women's CrossFit and Fitness Motivation, and I've catered to a lot of CrossFitters. So
wow.
You don't have to be a CrossFitter, but if you're fitness minded, that's who I love to work with, and they're great people.
So do you train people. CrossFitters?
I have done some programming, yeah. So usually they have their own, but that's the tricky part, is that I do very customized work, and oftentimes the program you're trying to do is more cookie cutter. And so sometimes you just need to have something a little bit more customized, and then know what you need to stay consistent on to prevent injury, and then you can do your own programming along the way.
What's your favorite part of your business?
I love serving. I know any other massage therapist out there will totally relate. That's a very deep question. It's super personal. I just love leaving people feeling like they can feel as good as they know they deserve to feel. I want them to feel empowered. And so I just like serving and helping them get past things that they don't know how to do on their own, but helping them learn how to do them without necessarily needing someone else all the time. So.
Nice. Are you currently doing massage out of your home space?
Yeah, I do just a very little bit. I still work with a chiropractor, and so it's right now with California, that's how you're supposed to do it right now with the lockdowns, based upon doctor referral. So nice. I work with Dr. John Adams, DC. That's a plug for him because he's such an amazing chiropractor, and so yeah.
Well, feel free to put his information in the comments too, and then I'll copy it all onto the YouTube show notes. So yeah, any last minute words of advice for anyone looking for a healthcare professional, or a physical therapist, or a massage therapist? Personal trainer.
Okay, all of it.
All of it, yeah.
Yeah. I would say I would just want you to feel empowered, and that you can interview people and approach it that way, where you deserve to work with someone that is the best at what they do and has your best interest really at heart. So guard that, and because just feel comfortable. Like, I always wanted my clients to look, if the massage sucked, please let me know.
Yeah. Right.
Or they'd come to me and say, oh, I went somewhere else and it just wasn't that good, and I'm like, did you tell them? No. And it's like, oh, please feel empowered to tell them. You can do it gently, but it will only make us better practitioners and be able to serve you better. So I just want you to feel like the power is yours. So
nice. Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being a member of Visions to Profits Women's Membership Community. It's so fun. It's so fun having you and watching that group grow.
Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah.
I really hope I help others just with feeling good about themselves too along the way. So
Oh, you're a good soul. And for any women looking for boosting up their accountability and their productivity and this year, go ahead and look at Visions to Profits Women's Membership Community. You can find it alaskatracy.com. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Women's Success Community and YouTube. And we will talk again very soon. Thanks,
thank you.
Lonelle.